Discuss the pattern matching and regular expressions in more details, and if you are wondering, this will be part of the lab test 3, will be at the end of November. And we will discuss the Junit test, and at that time I will try to connect my laptop and do some work in front of you how we can create the Junit test. And actually I use the Junit test to test and to evaluate your answers for the lab test too. It's very efficient methodology to test the code and make sure the model that we create, the classes, the method are completely and accurately implemented. And also we will discuss the collections. We'll hope we touch the topic collections in more details next week, but we will introduce the collections this week and the way of thinking of the collections. Before I jump too deep, I will just mention something about that surprised me during the lab test, and also when I look at the sum of program implementation for the programming part. I saw that some of the students, for example, they use a regular expression to answer the questions. Some of them, they use collection, even array list, and we didn't cover that yet. And that's good. I'm happy for that. The only thing that constraint is the input and the return output. So when we ask you to implement a method that receive an array and return, let's say, a number of even element inside this array. So I need the input, the same array, and I need the return is the number of even integers inside this array. Between the line on the body of the method, I didn't restrict you. The only thing, even I give you some help, you need to use a loop, and this loop should not be executed more than is necessary. So that's the only constraint. You want to use the regular expression, it's your choice. You want to use the array list or hash map, which is not yet covered actually. It's your choice. So I'm not saying this is not good. There's some questions, some of you got these questions where I ask, you have to use for loop and you have to use while loop. Here we will look in details that did you use the while loop or did you use the for loops. And we have, by the way, some students where the machine is saying this is an infinite loop. Some students, they still not putting the loop all together with the termination condition, so the loop is running for infinity. Let us now go back to our topic of these lectures. So last time we discussed these examples where we are looking on side the string. And I told you last time that a string text on this example, it can be any file, text file, or any web HTML page, or any things that you are a PDF file, you need to open it and search inside it for a specific pattern or a specific regular expression. And as you can see here, the pattern is from A to Z small plus 1. So one or more you can. Then once we create the pattern, we need to compile the pattern. So the Java now, it's ready after we compile the pattern. Then we call we name it a matchers, who are going to take our patterns and the compiled pattern and run it through the text. In this case, it's a string, now is the time. And then we use matcher m.find, which will allow us to iterate through all the matches for these regular expressions. And also we use m.start and m.end. So to extract the part from the text where it's really matching this pattern. So we end up with extracting, as you can see, the first letter is N capital, which is not matching the pattern. That's why it's not included in the output. The only match is OW. This is the first one. Then we have IS, the second one. Then we have THE, the third. And the final one is TIME. And we print the patterns with star at the end. So we have the pattern, we have the text, we compile the pattern, and then we run the matches. All these 4 things we need to do before searching for anything. We need to create your pattern, you need to know your text that you're going to search, you need to compile the pattern, and you need to create the matches that will help you. We discussed last time about some notation and syntax to create the regular expression. We say whenever we see a dot means any characters. Whenever we see a dollar sign means the end of the line. When we see the cut, which is the shift with number 6, that is beginning of the line. And whenever you use the braces, curly braces, that we mean we are specifying the ranges that we are looking for. And square brackets is the character classes. And inside this square bracket, the cut has a special meaning, which is the shift. Some characters, when they are exist inside the square pattern here, gonna be turned to another meaning. We're gonna see some examples. And then we have the vertical part, which is meaning of logic OR. And if we have a group of patterns that we need to match, we use the parentheses. This slide shows examples about some expressions. We have square bracket 0, 1, 3. We mean that we are looking for a single digit that either 0 or 1 or 3. We are looking for only a single digit. Now, look at the second expressions. We have 2 square brackets. That means we are looking about 2 digits, 2 different digits. And each one of them is range from 0 to 9, which end up we are looking for any numbers between 0, 0 and 9, 9. Now, for the third line, we are looking for a pattern that starts always with A capital. You see here, it's A capital, then any digits between 0 and 4. And then we have P small, followed with any digit, either 0 or 5. Now, look at this pattern, the one before the end, which is looking for a single digit, but with the compound conditions for this single digits. You can put everything in one square brackets. I look for a digits between 0 and 9. And this is a condition, and now look at this character. It's a special character. It means beginning of the line. But now, because it's inside the square brackets, it means exclude things. So I need any digits between 0 and 9, but not equal to 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, which end up with 0, 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9. You're looking for a single digit, one of these. So again, if I give you this expression and I ask you, give me another equivalent expression to this one, you can do that, yes? If I ask you, can you give me an equivalent for this one? What I want to say is a regular expression that you come up with, and then I can create another regular expression. It's not unique. So I can say, I will just put a square bracket, and I can put like this, 0, 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9, like the first one. So why should I make it complicated for myself, okay? So a regular expression is not unique, and that's what we're gonna see on the lab test. You need to practice on creating irregular expressions. Give you a regular expression and ask you, give me an equivalent one, which is gonna do the same job. So the one before the last is looking for any digits between 0, 1, 2, 3, 8, and 9. I can do this by just putting a square bracket and putting all these digits between, the same as the first one. So there's sometimes, for a reason of professionality, for a reason to show other people we can manipulate and go around a simple regular expression, we do this. We try to make use of all the syntax of regular expression. As you can see in the one before the last, we are using exclude notations, to exclude some digits from the range. Now, what about the last one? The last one is, again, looking for a single digit, but this single digit can be any lowercase and any number, okay, between 0 and 9. Any question? Okay. Now, after we discuss the syntax, we come up across very powerful tools inside the regular expression, which is the quantifier. It allows us to find more inside the text. Okay, so the quantifier is saying for the question mark here, x can be any regular expression from these. Take any one of these and put a question mark at the end. So x on this slide means any regular expression you create. Now if you are using a question mark at the end of the pattern, then you are saying once or not. So you are saying, is there an element exist or not inside this set or inside this text? So you are saying, if this element exist, like I'm asking if these students belong to this class or not. Did you take the discrete math? They exist. So 0 or not, you are asking once or not at all. Search for this pattern, once or not at all. You take the text, you try to search for the pattern, appear once or not at all. If you use a star, you're saying 0 or more than one time. There's a difference between the one with the question mark and the one with the star, and I think it's clear from the text. Once or not at all, 0 or more than one time. And plus saying 1, you start from 1, I need 1, at least 1, or more time if you add a plus sign to the pattern. But this is not the end. We have to make it more, if I'm looking for a pattern for exactly n times, how I can do this? With star, question mark, plus sign, I cannot do this. I cannot restrict that. I need a pattern 10 times. That's all. Take this pattern and run it through this web page and give me if this pattern appear n times. Then I will classify this web page as spam. Or I classify this email as Trojans, whatever. You need a specific keyword to be appear inside the email, then you classify the emails based on that. So we can do that. We can have the kill braces and we put n inside it, and by that we say I need to search for the pattern exactly n times. Some people they say okay, at least n. So we are saying just add comma to it. You put the braces, kill braces, n and comma, which you are indicating you need at least n times. Now some people they say no, I need to look for n plus 1 between n and m. And these things can appear on some marketings or some stocks research. You are searching for some items between the range, between at least n and maximum m times. You're looking for a pattern. That's where we come to string manipulations and text search, and they call it natural language processing. You are processing a large news. You need to say if this news or this event for Facebook, for example, for a page or for a post or for a tutors, you need to see the tag is appearing between n and m times. You have all the logs files. You search through the log files, then you decide if this tag is, you need to put it as advertisement or you need to show something for the user Facebook page or for the tutors. So all this is back because you don't have any visualization. You have all the logs from the user of the internet, and you processing these log files, then you can say there is an attack or there is something you need to do. All this is based on the regular expression that you create, and you search for this regular expressions either once or not at all, or either 1 or more, or 0 or more, or you need a specific range between n and m, or at least n. All these choices, you can do it with the regular expression by adding more quantifier to it. Okay? So we discussed this last time about the brackets, and we have some choices if we need to make. We can use the vertical bar and the parentheses. As you see in these examples, we are looking for any match. A regular expression is saying WP, and we put what? The square parentheses or the parentheses around the choices that we are looking for. In this case, we have a choice, AP or EED. So you have AD or EED and match with a single characters, either W or P. Yes? Again? I think in here is restricted to be integers. Yes. Okay. I'm not sure, but you can try. But my answer is integer. But it's left for you to try it, to see. You want things to be 1.5 times? Oh, okay, I see. If its arithmetic expression is evaluated as an integer, I think it's valid. But you need also to verify. But if its arithmetic expression gonna end with the real number, I'm not sure. But again, this is a programming. Sometimes questions end up with test case. We need to try it and see. But my answer is integers or any regular expression that end up with evaluated as integers. Okay? Here is another example where you use the parentheses to give a choices that we have, a range of choices. As you can see on this last one, you are looking for anything that starts with AZ or CA or CO, any one of these, and then followed with what? Can anyone tell us here? What is this? Followed with what? I already explained the first part of this regular expression. This regular expression is saying, give me any text that starts with AZ or CA or CO. And what about this other part? 4 digits. We're looking for a single digit that has exactly 4 times. You see, we need a digit that is repeated 4 times. That's why we put here XXX. So we are looking for a digit. We have it 4 times. You see the power? If I don't have this quantifier, what I should do? Could be this 4 times. Is that right? Because I'm looking for 4 different digits. But with this quantifier, allow me to say I need exactly the digit, follow this strings as AZ, I need 4 digits after it. Exactly. Otherwise, the matter is not bad. This is a single digit, has some choices. This is whenever you need a range of choices, you are using the parentheses with the vertical. You cannot use the vertical bar here. Okay? You are using the vertical bar inside the parentheses to give a range of choices that you have. Here you can give a range between A small to Z small, but you cannot use a vertical bar. Okay? And we come across, all this is from the previous lecture, but just to set up the discussion so we can go more in the next slide. Dot means any characters, and backslash with D just to make things more compound rather than putting a square bracket from 0 to 9. By doing backslash and D, you include any digits. And also this is like a shorthand. You can think about these as a shorthand or a shortcut to create a pattern quickly, okay, and make it more compound. You have backslash and D capitals. In this case, you are looking for any non-digit characters. And backslash with S, small, you're looking for a white space characters. And these are white space, because in the exam, the students, they're asking, what is the white space? Is a tab? These are white spaces, okay? And by the way, on the exam, you don't need to know this. There is a method we discuss on the character to check the character if it's white space or not. So you can just send the character of the string to this method is a white space, then it will return true if that's correct, okay? So you don't need to create so there is a method you can use to check if this character is white space. You're looking for non-white space character by using the S capital. And also backslash and W, we're looking for a word characters, which can be any small character, capital letter characters, underscore, or any digits. If you use W capitals, in this case, you are looking for non-word character. All these predefined character classes allow us to easily create the pattern more compound. As you can see here, the white space, this is a space, is part of the white space. And you can see rather than writing all this, A small to Z small, A capital to Z capital, underscore, 0 and 9, you can just simply write one character, backslash with W. You are actually looking for the word characters. We come across this example last time. We say we have this demo examples to show the power of search of the pattern. We create a pattern, as you can see, T dot R. When we say dot, means any characters, and we are looking for exactly this patterns. We're looking for this pattern, and we end up running this and retain the result as a 3 iteration, 3 results, and we iterate it through m.find. And we look for a pattern T as a start, R as an end, and we have any character. It happened to be O on the middle all the time. Now, if we add a quantifiers to this, we're saying once or not at all. That's what is the meaning of this quantifiers. So we need any character between T and R once or not at all. That is the meaning of the question mark. Is the result of the search will be changed or will stay the same? What do you think? Change. In this case, we will have, as you can see, whenever it starts with T and end with R, even if there is no character between, we're going to retain it. But in the previous examples, we saw that we are insisting to have a character between T and R. If there is no character between T and R, you should not retain this pattern. But here, we are saying once or not at all, which means we can retain a pattern that starts with T, end with R, and nothing between. As you can see in the result, we have T and R, TOR, TOR, then T and R. These are all a valid matched expressions for our expressions. All the students can see the difference between this example and the previous one. Do you have any question? Okay. So we have here the question mark saying is an optional once or not at all between these patterns. Okay. Now let us make it more combined. And you know the backslash inside the string has a special meaning. So we have to put actually double backslash to give a meaning of backslash, and then W. And we say W is meaning what? Is a shortcut for what? Any word characters. So I'm saying I need exactly a pattern that starts with T, end with R, and there is a character between. And this character can be digit, is that right? Can be underscore, can be any special character, can be a white space. So what do you think we're going to retain? How many patterns? The string is very short. I believe if you take half a minute and you can tell us what is the result. This is an exercise. You take it at home. But what do you think the output? I don't have the output, by the way, here. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe. But what do you think? This is an exercise. That means I don't have output here. How many patterns will be retained? 4. 4 or 3? 3 or 4. What about this? 1, 2, 3, and that's all. Yes, 3. And what about this one? You try it at home. You're saying that I need, I told you last time that we can have this kind of combinations between a question mark and plus. And we say once not at all with a plus sign. So you have combined things together. So some people, they do it like this, but there is a shortcut. Again, I can create an expression like this one. I hope you can evaluate it at home and see the difference. But there is no difference maybe between this one and the previous one. Because you see once at all or not at all, you cancel each other. But anyway, I leave it for you to try and see this. Now, if someone needs to create a regular expression, that's what happened. I think if you have a cell phone, nowadays, of course, you receive a call that there is a low case and the Canada Revenue Agency scams or something like that. How they find your emails? How they find your phone number? They search inside the websites, all the websites that you have. Maybe you put your name, your email, and your phone number on the LinkedIn, and you put it on the Facebook. You put it in some website for a delivery. They have all the log files, and they search inside it. They extract these phone numbers. The only interested for us is the phone numbers. So to do this, they create a regular expression. And as you can see here, this is a regular expressions to search for the phone number. And to be able to create that regular expression, you should not like start think from some imaginary things. No, you have to know how the phone number is formed. Then you match it with the regular expressions. You create a regular expression. We know that we can have digits, then minus sign or a dash. That is between, you see, parentheses. Because this is a choice. We could have it or we don't have it, once or not at all. And then we have digit, and we need exactly 3 times. Then we have dash. Another choice, sometimes we don't know the area for Montreal, for example, 415, here is 416 or 647, okay? So the area maybe is not there, but this is mandatory, the 3 digits exactly, and then dash 4 digits. So this expressions saying I need all these components to be there. So this is a phone number searching for a phone numbers. And you see, this is a regular expression. I won't like you to see the difference, because in the exam I will end up having answers that is wrongly compiled because you forget the backslash. You see the difference between one here and the one here? This is the regular expression if I ask you what is the regular expression without putting it inside a Java programming. If you need to take this regular expression and add it to the Java, you need to have backslash, double backslash, double backslash, double backslash, all of this. Because Java will not understand, it has a special meaning for the backslash. Is that right? So we have to do this. So if I ask you to answer in the programming style, you have to give me this regular expression. If I ask you to give me a regular expression without any Java things, give me the one on the top. Okay? I hope you can see the difference now when you answer the questions or try to give a regular expression. A normal regular expression don't have double backslash. But the regular expression that I need to search inside the Java programming, I need to add the backslash because Java understands the backslash has a special meaning for the backslash. Any question? Yes?
So when you write comments in Java, is it 1 backslash or 2?
Comment?
Yeah.
Oh, this is slash, this is backslash. 2. Yeah. So this is a forward slash, not backslash. Yes.
Expression, you are searching the pattern occur as fast as possible. How can you search a pattern occur as long as possible?
Again,
You want to search like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You want to search this pattern occur as longer as possible.
you put plus once. Yes. Yes. You put a plus at the end. If you need it exactly n times, you need to have the braces with exact numbers inside it. Okay? Yes? Question marks means once or not at all. Yes, for these expressions. Only for these expressions. So you have x, this expression we discussed in the previous slide. So you have these expressions, you have slash, then you have d, minus, all these between the parentheses, and you have a question mark here. This means once or not at all. So it's maybe exist or not at all. Okay? So here we have examples where they create a patterns that search for any website that end with .org. So as you can see, we are searching for a website that start with any letters, A capital or Z small, capital or small, and then there is underscore. This is a mandatory underscore. A plus here means once or more, okay? And then we have another characters. There is no digits on the website. And also we have at, there is a name, plus also, and we have .org. And this pattern, we take it and we run it in through array of strings. And we iterate through the array of strings, as you can see in the for loop, string email, and then this is a candidate email. This will iterate another way of doing a for loop through the array by extracting only the elements of the array. I'm not interested on the index of the array, index 0 up to length minus 1. So I'm just extracting the element of the array. So I'm saying string email, and then we are searching for the candidate emails. And in this case, we are printing the email, and then we ask email.matches. Here we are using a string method, not a matches. We are using a string method to match a pattern. So as you can see, we did not compile the pattern. So we have the pattern, and we didn't compile the pattern to create a pattern objects. So we have the pattern created, and we have the text, and we use the matches method from the string. So the matches method from the string allow us to take the pattern. As you can see, I didn't do the compilation of the pattern. I didn't use the matches to search for the pattern. I use the string matches, and I give the email symbol rate is a regular expression to this matches. And then I will have true or false if the email or if this string match the pattern. So is another way of using the pattern is using the matches method from the string. And then we will print matches or don't match. So by running this, how many of these emails will match the pattern? 2. The first one will match because underscore is mandatory, and this will match, this will not match. So here is the for loop to iterate through this array of string or any even array of integers, but without, if you are interested on the content of the array, you're not interested in the index where this content exists, you can use the same method. And then you ask the string matches to match the regular expressions, and then you end up with 2 of them match the regular expression that we create. Now, you can use the regular expression to split a string. So you are saying, I would like to split the string by multiple times, but with using a special character between the string part. So you can see here, the pattern is here. What does the pattern means? Can anyone help us? What does the pattern means? Anything except letters from A capital up to Z capital, from A small to Z small, and we have a plus sign at the end. Plus sign means what? More than 1. And as long as we find this, we can use it to split the string. So as you can see here, we have the text, and we ask the text dot split, and we give the pattern. Again, we are using the string dot split. We are not using the pattern, or we compile the pattern and run the matches for this one. We are using the string methods. So we take the split and we give the pattern to the split. We end up with retaining a string array. You see the retained part is a string array, and call it pieces here. And then we iterate through all the pieces that we have, and we print the string. What do you think the output? Or let's say how many split or how many pieces this string will end up? 7, 10, 9. So the match in this case will be excluded. So this is the split, and this is the output. I think here we have 1, 2. So these are special cases will be removed. This special case will be removed. This will be removed. This will be removed. This will be removed because anything is not character. This is not a characters, and I mean not a letter characters. And then we have these columns and so we have 6 part or 6 pieces of this string. So you can see here, we're not interested in the pattern that we are search for, but we use the pattern to split the string. So we have the pattern, and we use the pattern to split the string. Now again, you can use the pattern not only to find the match, that I want to keep it in your mind. You can use the pattern to find the match and extract it to the user, like you extracting the phone numbers from the web page or the text file. You can use the pattern to search for the phone number and bring it back. You can use the pattern to search for something and replace it. You can use the pattern to split some strings in 2 parts. Okay? No, this sign means anything is not letters from A capital to Z capital, from A small to Z small. No, this is printed here. This is part of the print, not part of the string. String is contained, this is the content. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I print the index for you. It's here. I is the index for loop. It's not part of the string. No, it's not matching. You're using this. The power here is the split. I'm not using, look here, I'm using what? Matches. So if I use the matches, I'm looking for the match of the pattern. But I'm using here split. Split will take the string before the patterns and after the pattern. So you split things. I'm not interested to match the pattern. The pattern that I match, I use it to split the string. Okay? So don't keep that in your mind. As I mentioned, I use the pattern to search for the phone number, so I need to, whatever I match, the phone number, I need to retain it. But I use the pattern here to search for something can be split. Okay? Like you take the text and you need to split the text to columns whenever you see the semicolon. So you split the text whenever you see a semicolon, that's a pattern to search for it, and you put a bar. This is a column. That you see always on whenever you have a text and you take the text to the Excel, you ask the Excel to split it based on the semicolon or based on the tab or a column, whatever you like. So that's what I want you to, don't restrict your mind that always the pattern, search for it and find it and retrieve it. You can use the pattern to search for something and replace it. Okay? Now, as you can see, this is another example where we are using the matchers this time to what? To report what we find as a match. It's the same as the previous example, but this time we are not using a string.matches. We are using a matchers. We create a matchers, we create a pattern, and we compile it, and then we assign it to the pattern here, and we are create the matchers inside, and we ask to find if it's match or not. So again, it will report, as you can see here, we create the matchers, and then we send the string to the matchers to see if this match the pattern or not.
Why do we, for the for function, why do we assign a new string instead of just using the one? I mean, why do we assign string email instead of just using the string candidate emails?
Candidate emails is the array of strings. But the method here is receiving a string. It's not the matchers. This method is defined as a string. Is input of the method. When they create it, Java expert, they say this method is working if you give us a string. If you give us an array of a string, because this is a candidate emails, it's an array of a string. It will not work. Okay? Because the method is working if you give us a string. Yes, that's why we give a string to this method. We can create our method where we give an array of a string, then inside it we run it individually for each match, as we see here in this. So we have an array of string and we iterate through all the strings inside this array of string to see if they are matching or not. Okay, sometimes you need to search for time, and you can have this time in AM or PM. You can see this pattern. You search for choices and ranges here. That's why we use a parentheses and then we use a square bracket inside. So there is a choices. You can have 1 or you can have 0, 1, and 2. Then you have or, the vertical bar, and the range between 1 and 9. That is the time. Then you have a colon. And then you have from 0 to 5, from 0 to 9. So then you have \s, any white space, then you have either AM or PM. One thing that can be concluded here, to create an efficient regular expression, you have to understand the way of the way that the thing is created. This is the way that people write the time, either in AM or PM. I cannot create an expression I'm saying here from 0 to 9. Why? Why I restrict it here from 0 to 5? Exactly. So I know the time. I know that in each hour we have either 0 hour 59 minutes. We cannot have 60 minutes. So the more you know about what you are looking for, the more you are efficient of creating a regular expression that can find exactly matches. So again, here we have a time, and we run it through the matches regular expressions. And we have the pattern, we compile it, and then we take the pattern and do the matches, and we print. We are using here matches.matches. And we know that the matches, whenever you have matches, it will retain if it's exactly match the whole strings. You have the matcher method we discussed last time. Matches from the matchers whenever the pattern is matching the whole string and retain true, otherwise will retain false. By running this, you can see this is not matching the pattern number 13 because this is not a time. Okay? This is not a time.
On the first line, it's a bit ambiguous. The vertical bar.
The vertical bar is giving us either you have one digit like this or two digits. Okay? So it allows us, because sometimes you have some people they put 01 to make it 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. or they put 1 dot this or column. So this vertical bar give us a choice that to adopt, because otherwise if we don't have this vertical bar, we're saying that we need, even if it's 01, we need to be able to write 01, 09, 08. But in this case, that's not the way that the people are writing the time if it's AM or PM. They write 11 AM, but when they mention 6 PM, they write 6 colon the time. They're not writing 06 colon on this. So the vertical bar is to give us a choice of or. Okay? So even if someone writes 01, still we can match it. Okay? Yes? What exactly?
So for the parentheses 1 all the way to the next parentheses, do we need those brackets?
This one? No, this parentheses is end here.
Yeah. Do we need them?
Yes. That is give us the choices. This is the way the syntax of creating a regular expression, to give a choice. Whenever you have two choices, you put them inside, okay, the parentheses. Now if you put it, look here, if you put it inside a square bracket, is a give you a, you are looking for a single digit, but this will give you a single, two digits, either this or this. So whenever you need a choice, okay, you put it inside the parentheses. You can go to the previous slides at home and see the difference. You can go to the programming and write a program where you use the square bracket, and then you see the power of using the parentheses. That gives you a choice where you can use the or bar inside it. This or bar used inside the parentheses here. Okay? This is an example where I give you the regular expression and I ask you, give me whatever you think about these regular expressions.
So the word
Start with. That's right. You look at this part. There is a kill braces here. You 4 and 15. You start reading from that part. You're saying that anything, at least I need 4 from it, or 15. What does this mean? End of the line. Okay, you start from the end. What about you start from this one? What does this mean? Beginning of the line. It's not inside the square bracket. If it's inside the square bracket, it means exclude things, but it's in the beginning. So we have the beginning of the line, end of the line. So we are looking for something written and define whatever you like as an interfaces. You can set a method inside the interface, but you cannot have the data only constant. Inside the class, you can have data and constant. As you see in the BMI model, we have the height and the weight and some methods. The methods are implemented inside the class, but inside the interface, it is not implemented. And you cannot create object from interface. You can create object from the class. Any questions? Okay, so we're going to start a new discussing the collection next time.